Welcome to Thinking Outside the Soil with your host, Johnny Alfalfaseed, where we get to talk story and touch on topics about hydroponics and the farmers who grow the crops and creatures we need to eat. Good morning, and hello from Blooming Health Farms. And thank you for being with us on this beautiful morning. I am excited to talk about the new release of the audiobook version of Thinking Outside the Soil. This show was born after writing that book, and it came about because other farmers wanted to understand better how hydroponics could serve their farm. And that came about a lot because farmers here in the West are running low on water and they struggle to find quality forage for their livestock. The question that was originally posed to me, and I pose this to you, is what if hydroponics could help farmers save water and save animals' lives? So I've been volunteering with the local extension office for a little over 6 years now, and they kind of know me as this hydroponics guy. Now I get to tell that story in my book in the first chapter. Well, actually I wrote it, but I did hire an amazing narrator that you will hear that story from instead of reading it yourself. And that's because you can get the audiobook of Thinking Outside the Soil right now. It's on Amazon, so get on Amazon and search the name, or I've included the links below in the show. So get that book, have a listen, have a read, so you can have a chance to take part in this next agricultural revolution. I am an avid reader, and I have been since I was a little kid. Several years ago, when I was getting sober, I started a book club to study Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. That book, I believe, is foundational to understand what it means to have successful qualities and characteristics. And while starting up that book club, I actually befriended a gentleman named Ed Van Dyne, who would eventually become our board president here at Blooming Health Farms. When we first met, he actually told me that he was dyslexic, and the second book he ever read from cover to cover was Think and Grow Rich. A lot of that was because he didn't like to read due to the dyslexia. However, he saw that not reading was going to be a huge barrier to his future success. And he joined the book club because he had recently recognized some challenges in his professional career development that needed to change. So we decided to understand what it meant to be more successful by learning from Napoleon Hill's lessons. And we did it. We read it. We read the book. It was a little bit slow. It was quite tedious. We read each chapter week to week, but digesting it on a more deeper level was kind of challenging. I've recognized a little bit of these challenges, and I looked back in my life and said, what has worked for me in the past? And I remembered about how I got into audiobooks when I was packaging corn at DuPont Pioneer, and I just knew how easy audiobooks were to digest. So after our first read-through of Think and Grow Rich, I suggested that we listen to the audiobook version, and I gave Ed an MP3 version off of a shared drive. Now, the terrible thing about that was that the book was in multiple files, and the format or the file size was huge. So you had to basically download all of the files individually. And then at the end of the day, it was a little bit of a pain to get all of those onto your mobile device. So what happened was that Ed didn't listen to the book, and we didn't read the book or listen to the book. So our success in the group kind of halted a little bit. Well, I eventually found Amazon's Audible app, and I will rave from the rooftop about that app. So I found this version of Audible for his phone and told him that he could have an amazing resource in their pocket on demand. And then we could finally learn how to model others that were successful so we could find our own success. Well, fast forward from them, we've since consumed Think and Grow Rich dozens and dozens of times, if not hundreds by now, in all the formats. And I think we have read every edition so far, among many other books that he's written and from other professionals in similar aspects. We have read a lot of books because of our ability to consume them through our ears. Now, after writing Thinking Outside the Soil, a book that helps farmers, I knew that I needed to produce an audio version. And there's a little bit of a joke in the beginning of the book that talks about listening to this in our tractor. And I wanted to make the book engaging and entertaining. So I recognized that there was going to be this potential avenue. However, as you may have deduced from tuning into this show, that I do love to speak, and I thought that I was originally going to make my own book and produce my own audiobook. Well, I started to think about what it is I'm doing. I thought long and hard about my time and how I value my time. And then looking at my resources and ability to record a high quality book like the thousands of other books I had listened to. And I came to the conclusion that it was better to hire somebody that was better than me. Now, there's this platform called ACX that Amazon uses to record their audiobooks. It's really great. If you've got a book on Amazon, you can go through their portal and get your book produced in a lot of different ways. So the way I went about it was hiring a producer, and you begin by searching for samples from potential producers and you listen to their excerpts so you can hear how they read. I eventually found some audio samples from a guy named Andrew Geller, and I loved his accent. I liked the way his articulation sounded in relation to what I had written. So I sent him my manuscript, and he read it on audio, and then I get to listen to it and approve. So we set up a contract right away, and he went into production. What was really great is we only had to go back and forth a couple of times to get the audio version tweaked to the way that I expected it to sound according to my written word. That's a huge testament to not only his ability to produce an audiobook, but his professionalism as an audiobook producer. What I liked the most about him from a book reading perspective is that he's articulate and has a neutral accent. Now, he doesn't say everything like me. He doesn't have the same accent as me. However, I love that because I'm an advocate of properly speaking words as you say them, yet still keeping the same meaning. I mentioned about Dr. Sarkis, my Lebanese professor, that had instilled that value in me. And Andrew's clear and engaging, which makes it really easy to follow and gain valuable insights from the book about how hydroponic fodder could benefit you as a farmer or other farmers that you know. Now, the other thing I love about the book is that it's only 3 hours long. It's short, a bit like my last name, so you don't have to take that long to consume all of the information. You can get it done in a day. So I urge you to head on over to Amazon or Audible and get yourself a copy of the book. If you have an Audible app, go over there. You can order it on your app or online. But if you don't have a subscription yet, or you don't have an Audible subscription, The book is also available where other audiobooks are found right now. However, I do have a link below for those of you that do not have an Audible subscription yet. First-time Audible subscribers can get a copy of Thinking Outside the Soil for free and sign up for a trial subscription for Audible. Now, I'm really just a huge fan of Audible, and that's because it really does. It supports both me, but it also supports Andrew as a narrator. Andrew gets to get his name out the more and more you listen, which helps further his producing career. And then on the other side of that, 50% of all of the book proceeds go directly to move our mission here at Blooming Health Farms forward. That creates paying jobs for at-risk youth and provides that mental health support and mentorship so that they can keep doing what they need to do. So, as we conclude today's show, open up your app or your browser. It'll help you know more about how hydroponic fodder is helping farmers save water, improve our livestock quality, and helping us all become better stewards. So don't miss out on becoming part of this next agricultural revolution. And thank you for being with us on today's show. Join us again on another episode of Thinking Outside the Soil. Take care and have a lovely day. Hey, before you go, check out the links below, and if you'd be so kind as to leave a rating and review and follow the show. For those with feathered friends, don't forget to get yourself some of our Blooming Health Farms Chicken Blend Sprouting Mix. This supplemental mix has been shown to give you some of the best eggs with the yummiest yolks. You'll have happy, healthy hens that abandon the feeder and give you eggs with high levels of vitamin A and omega fatty acids. So don't forget to get yourself some Blooming Health Farms Chicken Blend Sprouting Mix.